I used to think I'm too late to this because YouTube used to work in a different way, right? So back in the day, content was very, very different. You'd find crossbar challenge videos with one camera on a tripod with no microphone, just a top mic, would be on 8 million views. It's all you need. It's a phone. The idea sets the framework. So I always say that, like, okay, imagine you have a big circle. That circle is as big as the idea is. And then everything you do from the idea stage, filming it, scripting it, editing it, packaging it, sets the size of the eventual circle, which is how well the video performs. But that circle can't be bigger than the idea. We absolutely want to be the best. If there's anything that we can do to make our content better, we will do it. And it doesn't stop at anything. It's about never taking shortcuts.
How difficult has it been to get it to where it is now?
Incredibly difficult, to be honest, and it ultimately needs to be an obsession. That ultimately is the only way that something like this can succeed. I was in my dream job, and John was an air traffic controller. We decided, fuck it, we're just going to go and quit our jobs.
Really?
On a channel which had, I think, like 7,000 subscribers.
This morning it was at 13 million subscribers.
I just like the idea of always like raising the bar, seeing where you can take it. That was the most viewed video in the world that week.
Really?
On YouTube.
On YouTube?
20 million videos uploaded every single day.
How are you, mate?
Good.
How's life?
Yeah, good. Busy.
You look a bit jet lagged, a bit tired.
Yeah, I'm always jet lagged. I'm always tired. My body clock is just in different continents at any one time.
Honestly, like if anyone just like scrolls through your YouTube channel just for like 10 seconds, you pretty much just like fly around the world all the time.
Yeah.
All of your content is just like in France, in LA, and in Dubai, and like it's nuts.
It's crazy. And because we kind of edit them in a random order sometimes, maybe we're kind of like waiting to finish video. We could be in the US and then 2 days later be in Dubai and then the next day be in Brazil. Because of the fact that, like, from a viewer's perspective, we often forget that kind of like they only see the upload sequence rather than the kind of chronological nature of a trip going into another trip. And
it's crazy. I think when I met you in Dubai, and the next day you were going to Brazil.
Yeah,
and I was like, and then you stayed out there for like 2 weeks, and then it's just like...
It wasn't even 2 weeks, it was 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, and then we flew to Manchester and then on to Norway.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Mate, well, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You have grown a YouTube channel in how many years? 2 years?
Maybe 3. Let's say 3.
Let's say 3 years. And when I checked this morning, it was at 13 million subscribers?
Yeah, almost.
Do you know how crazy that is, bro?
Yeah.
Did you realise how bananas that is?
Yeah, it is crazy. We kind of normalise it. And I kind of like that because it keeps us all grounded. Like, but it is a nuts thing to have done.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, God, I sound like a footballer. I was going to say take each day as it comes, but
it's really game of 2 halves, mate.
Yeah. Just head down every single day, work really hard, try and work as hard as you absolutely can.
Yeah.
But yeah, do that, and then who knows where you'll end up.
I mean, mate, you definitely took the ball by its horns for sure, and roll with it. I want to know, like, and probably the viewers want to know as well, because you know your story is absolutely fascinating. Like, why did you start the channel?
Well, I started it. The real story comes from the fact that I used to work at Sky Sports, and I used to work on a small team that ran their YouTube channel. So I like to say that I was kind of a YouTuber, but for Sky Sports, because I handled all stages of production. So
in the YouTube Sky Sports world?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd go on shoots, I'd come up with the ideas, I'd film them, I'd bring that back into house, edit it. I'd have already had the title and thumbnail logged, create the thumbnail, upload the video. So basically there was no stage of the YouTube kind of process I didn't understand and didn't know how to do. So in that sense, I was a YouTuber, but it was the fact that I had the kind of USP of working for Sky Sports, so we had access to the big players and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I learned all the skills that way, and then I met John through the fact that he had a podcast about a fantasy football game that I was playing.
Okay.
He had me on as a guest.
Okay.
Knew what I did, and then from there decided to basically say to me, okay, do you want to help me out on a freelance basis? And I started by doing that, and then he had the genius idea really after watching a Diary of a CEO episode where he basically thought, let's give this guy ownership.
Okay.
And effectively go into business together.
Yeah.
On a channel which had, I think, like 7,000 subscribers.
That was his channel at the time?
Yeah, his channel at the time. And then basically from that point, we decided to do it a bit on the side, kind of side hustle, etc. And we were doing okay, but ultimately it wasn't really going to go anywhere with that mantra. You kind of need to really go for it and take the ball by the horns. Otherwise,
it's a full-time job, right?
Yeah. We were kind of just doing a little bit on the side. I was saying, okay, I'm working at Sky. I've got a salary. If I can top this up and make a few quid on the side in the evenings, then happy days.
Yeah.
But then we decided, fuck it. We're just going to go and quit our jobs. So I was at Sky.
Really?
Yeah. And I was making good money.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable and I had a good pension and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I was quite in my dream job. And John was an air traffic controller, and that's a whole story for another day.
John was an air traffic controller.
Yeah,
really?
I've just got visions of him landing planes with his voice, which is like so iconic, and then being like, "Isn't that guy?"
Yeah. It's funny actually because like he could actually now your videos could actually now end up on planes, really? Because they could be on like British
who
Airways
knows?
or something.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he had an even higher paying job than me, and in a career that you don't really leave. Like I've heard him say countless times that no one leaves. Like
what, being an air traffic controller?
Yeah, it's just the safest job ever. You do it until you're 65, and then you retire on an amazing pension. So really, why would you leave? And I think like both of us just have this like ambition in us and this want to kind of make sure that we fulfill our potential.
Okay.
And we clicked immediately. Like we have so much synergy between us and the way we behave and our interests and so on that we just clicked. And what works so well about us and the kind of yin and yang of us is that we don't step on each other's toes at all. So he's amazing on camera, and has become amazing off camera, but at the start at least was new to this, fresh, and I had all those kind of learnings from Sky. So together we were kind of like somewhat of a complete package in the early days, and I didn't want to be on camera, so it was this amazing synergy where it was like, okay, let's just both stay in our lanes, knuckle down and see where this takes us, really.
Look at you now, mate. You're on camera now.
Yeah, true.
Did a fantastic job.
True.
Watch out, John. He's coming for you, mate.
Yeah, man, you're safe. You're safe.
I mean, it is an incredible story, mate, and congratulations. But like, I can't help but think of like all of like the hardship and the turmoil and like the craziness and all the flights and the traveling and the producing and all these different types of things that come with like growing a YouTube channel first and foremost, but also growing a YouTube channel to your size in such a short space of time. Like, how difficult has it been to get it to where it is now?
I think incredibly difficult, to be honest, and it is ultimately needs to be an obsession that ultimately is the only way that something like this can succeed to the level it has done, because both of us and our wider teams now are all just dialed in, and we absolutely want to be the best, and that's kind of like a mantra that we live by. And if there's anything that we can do to make our content better, we will do it. And it doesn't stop at anything. It's like if a hook, like for example, I'm working on a hook right now or an intro for our upcoming Neymar video, and it's been edited, but we're going to need to kind of rip it up a little bit, not too much, but kind of the structure needs to be torn apart, and there needs to be a lot of heavy lifting and editing. And it's like, that's going to cost more. It's fine. Just needs to be done, needs to be right. It needs to be the best that it can so that the video can go on to achieve what we know it can achieve. And it's about never taking shortcuts, really.
Really? So you're always like just optimizing every single little thing, learning from previous videos, learning from like, are you like deep into the analytics as well for every video? Like how obsessed are you? I
love analytics, and I'm on YouTube Studio all the time. So if you look at my screen time, there's no doubt that's top, and it would be clear by a long way. But I wouldn't say I'm deeply in the weeds of the analytics, maybe as much as I would like to be, because of the fact that my job is so intense, because I have to be filming and creating and ideating and scripting and all sorts. It's like the actual kind of review section of the content, it becomes more of a feel and a more of a kind of, in time, as you get more experience, you get a feel for why something has worked. And you, fortunately, a lot of the time you feel that before it goes live. So you can kind of catch, and it can be anything from pacing to does the viewer feel like they have enough information to take them on the journey to the end, or is there enough reason to stay? Like, because that's a big thing that I think a lot of people forget. Like, take a step back from the content, watch it from a fresh perspective, and say like, okay, do I have enough reason to stay? I mean, content at the moment is there's such an over demand in terms of content that why would they be watching your video?
So you're constantly asking yourself, like, you know, why would they be watching this 30 seconds of this video? Why would they stay for another 20 seconds? Why would they stay for another 20 seconds?
100%.
And how are you changing that? How are you adapting it to make it better all the time? If it's just like a feeling, do you think like you know your audience better than they know themselves potentially?
I think that's somewhat fair to say from like a strategic point. Like, for example, an average viewer might not understand necessarily the nuance as to why they're still watching, but I would have a grasp of that. Okay. So in that sense, I would say yes. But I think over time, it's about developing and leveling up what you do, and that can come in a lot of senses. And for me, it's the 1%, like understanding why a hook from, let's say, from a visual perspective is too cluttered. Or what can we do to find synergy between the thumbnail and the first frame of the video. All these kind of things that, like you say, a viewer just would not be aware of, but equally it would be a reason as to why they've kind of found the viewing experience more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's like you know what they want and they're just watching it and enjoying it, but you know what you want because you've posted so many videos and you've learned and you've grown and you've, like you said, you're trying to get that 1%. I mean, sometimes not even just 1%. It can be even smaller than that. Sometimes 0.1% of like, and a micro improvement, isn't it?
But they can have the biggest impact as well. It's one of those where, like, let's say, for example, holding the viewer's hand from a progression perspective, like, does the viewer know where they're going on this journey? That feels like kind of at times a small edit. It can be quite a small edit. It could be like a couple of emojis on top of a screen. It's not laboursome. People can take that. It's been nabbed already. So take it and run. It's not an easy. It's not a difficult thing to do effectively. But it's that kind of thing which can have a wholesale effect on the retention of a video. Because
just putting emojis on the screen.
Yeah. So that was one of the things we implemented maybe like a year ago to guide the viewer on that journey. Okay. So we don't use it in every video, but it's sometimes quite useful if a video is going to happen in stages, for example. So like John might be trying to stay inside a stadium and at the top of the screen we have maybe an emoji of a phone and then a toilet and then something to say, okay, he's going to take a photo. And then on screen, that's visually supported by an emoji. And then that emoji is going to slip away and up comes the toilet because he knows about to head into the toilet and hide. Okay. So ultimately, then the viewer knows, okay, cool, we're going through this in stages. Okay. I'm in stage 2. I know there's 4 stages. So if I'm 10 seconds, 20 seconds into a video, I know that I can somewhat expect this to be a 40, 50-second video. So it's all those kind of points that allow a viewer to know where they are in the journey. And with that kind of extra information, make a more informed choice as to whether they want to stay.
What about sound? How much does that affect the storytelling?
I really like sound design. And I think, like, for example, if someone was running up some steps, I'd make sure every footstep was supported by sound. Really? And put in post. Like for example, most of our content is the actual sound from the audio or the camera is stripped away and SFX brought in because obviously a camera's not going to pick up someone climbs some steps, or if they are, it's going to be muffled in the background of like chatter. So I'll always bring that kind of SFX in I think it immerses you in the story a little bit more, and anything that can bring you a bit deeper into the story is worth doing. So
you're really trying to like animate the content as much as you possibly can in a way from visuals, from like visual anchors to like sound anchors, to the speech, to like subtitles. It's like every single little thing. There's not just like one thing that just makes up a short great, right? It's lots of these little things that combine and then work together. Then eventually you'll find some success. Yeah. I mean, you guys have got some shorts on your channel which have like over 200 million views.
Yeah, I think our most viewed is 260 million.
That's crazy. 250 million people have viewed that one short.
Yeah. Yeah, it is absurd. Like that I think the one in question, the Adidas football video, which was a brand deal as well, by the way, was the most.
Weren't they lucky, eh?
Yeah, honestly. And I know firsthand that they were very, very happy with that. Yeah,
you should have done a rev share like you and John at the start.
But that was the most viewed video in the world that week.
Really?
On YouTube, and there's 20 million videos uploaded every single day.
That is bananas.
So like
bananas. Yeah. Where does someone start if they want to create a YouTube channel like the John Nellis channel? Like us,
the beauty is you really don't need much investment if that's the barrier to entry. Because I remember when I was at Sky, I used to think I'm too late to this.
You're too late to YouTube?
Yeah, I genuinely used to think that because I used to watch Chris MD, I used to watch KSIs of this world, and when I was 19 wanted to be on camera and thought, okay, I'm too late. Because YouTube used to work in a different way, right? I'm sure you're aware, but like sub boxes were kind of king back in the day, and YouTubers who got early bump in subscribers effectively had this army of viewers who'd go and watch their content. So back in the day, content was very, very different. You'd find crossbar challenge videos with one camera on a tripod with no microphone, just a top mic, would be on 8 million views. And I know, for example, Cal Freezy's most viewed video is a crossbar challenge.
Really?
Like, he's making incredible videos now, like some of the best in the entire space. And his most viewed video is a crossbar challenge with a top mic on. So it's like the game has changed differently. So ultimately, back in the day, you'd have this army of viewers who'd watch your content almost regardless of what it was. There'd obviously be skill to it. But now YouTubers and producers and everyone who works in the scene are so good. And they are, in my opinion, the absolute cream of the crop. They understand content better than anyone. And the level at the moment that content is at is just so absurd.
It really is. Why? So if the level of content is so absurd, why do you think the barrier to entry to start a YouTube channel is so low?
Because we've all got phones.
Okay.
And that is absolutely enough. Like I can say this hand on heart, like it is enough. It's all you need.
Really?
Is a phone. Because
do you still film things on phones?
Yeah, at times. Yeah. And I sometimes I pretty much always come away from filming on a phone thinking, we should do that more often.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because it's easy.
It's easy, and my feeling often is, how do I get the best content onto the memory card? Like, how do I film the best content? And it's often about the way the person on the camera feels about the situation.
Okay.
So, like, let me put it to you in the simplest way: is that we've done videos in the past where we film members of the public, and if I was to film that on a Sony FX30 with a big monitor display at the top, you best believe that person's going to freeze up and go, what is happening here? Like, I'm being filmed. What is this for? Is this for the news?
Okay.
Like, my guard is up. I'm frozen. If I was to film that on a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 or an iPhone, almost don't even realize they're on camera.
So you're saying just because you're filming on a phone, it feels more authentic, and that's what YouTube is built on, right? Is personalities and being real and just being true and normal to yourself. And the actual device that you're filming on helps that massively. Yeah,
and the quality is so ridiculous now that, like, if that was the anchor, if you're going, okay, I want to film on we film on an FX30, and then I want to film on an iPhone. The difference between those, yes, like there is differences, but equally, the average viewer can't often discern those differences.
No.
So if you're wanting to hop between the two, and absolutely if you're in a studio environment and you're filming like a Guess the Footballer or whatever.
I mean, this is all on phones, if people didn't notice.
True.
It's all just iPhones on tripods.
But it's about what you want to communicate, right? So with this, like, if you were to film this on a phone, there's a recognizability in terms of content that's filmed on a phone. Someone could see, okay, this was filmed on a phone. You want to portray the image that this is a high-end podcast, which it is. So of course, you want to match the equipment to that. But equally for us, like when we're filming run and gun situations, and it's like, we want to film the chaos of a scenario, it's often better just to kind of like bob and weave with an iPhone. And make sure that you get the shot, rather than feeling like, oh, I missed the shot, but it's in 4K and it's incredible.
Just getting the shot. Yeah. Your most popular shot on your channel, is that on an iPhone?
Yeah,
Really?
Shorts, iPhone or Google Pixel, which we film on now as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that a brand read?
Yeah, you might as well. It is.
You can have that one, Google.
It is a requirement, so I wouldn't want them thinking we're not.
That's funny. So the barrier to entry for cost is pretty low.
Yeah.
The barrier to entry for ideas, no, that's the thing I'm interested about. Is so many people worry about like how they're going to film things and what they're going to shoot a lot of the time, and they don't focus on ideas. I mean, I think I probably know the answer to this question already, but how much do you guys obsess on your ideas, on your titles, and your thumbnails?
Yeah, we obsess to the highest degree.
Because
in the past we haven't, and I think like that's the beauty of YouTube, and it's that constant learning. And I think the thing I always get across is that nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And that if you accept that, and you're objective enough to believe that, then you're always going to get better. So like 2 years ago, I was way worse than I am now. A year ago, I was worse than I am now. And in a year from now, I'll be better. So, and it's from that perspective of like understanding that I'm always going to improve. So ultimately, like the idea sets the framework. So I always say that, like, okay, imagine you have a big circle and you draw that big circle. That circle is as big as the idea is. And then everything you do from the idea stage, so from filming it to scripting it to editing it and packaging it, sets the size of the eventual circle, which is how well the video performs.
Okay.
But that circle can't be bigger than the idea.
Okay.
So ultimately, you need to make sure that your starting point is really, really strong.
Okay.
So don't pick a path that you don't want to walk down effectively.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, some of your titles and some of your ideas are just like ginormous.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might get scared of that sort of title, but I mean, they're so clickable, right? And they're so like, you say one of your titles out loud and you're just like, wow, like that is just such a sick title. And there's a lot that goes along with making a video of that title. Does it ever scare you when you come up with a title that's just like too big?
No, because I think now, like, we kind of know that you don't need to upload every single month. I'd like to. I'd absolutely love to, in fact, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's about making the best video possible. So we know, for example, that we've got 12 really strong videos in our plans. We probably won't make all of them because others will pop up along the way. But we have like 100 Hours to Meet Neymar, which is coming out very soon.
Yeah.
And we knew we were going to do that from the moment that the 100 Hours to Meet Messi video did well.
Right, okay.
Of course, we were going to do 100 Hours to Meet Ronaldo before we get on to Neymar. But that's almost like a series now for us. And it's a massive, massive quest. But ultimately, we can go on that quest a couple of times and fail, but we'll get the video. And we have examples already where we did 100 Hours to Meet Haaland.
Yeah.
And failed. So we filmed in Manchester, we flew to Norway, we tried to meet him in various locations and didn't meet him.
Yeah.
So that video doesn't exist and it will never exist.
Right, okay.
So we're accepting of the fact that sometimes we'll try and we'll fail.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's because we want to punch as high as like 10 million views video.
Yeah.
That you kind of need to know, okay, I'm going to fail sometimes, but it's in the quest of achieving a huge video. So if I could go and do this tomorrow, then ultimately the chances of it being a massive video would be quite low. In our instance, there are people, of course, who could hit record on a great idea tomorrow in the confines of a room, and it could do massive, massive views. But for us, the kind of niche that we're in and the journey we've gone on, we know that not every 10 million view video is going to be able to be achieved in a single week, for example.
And this is it with YouTube nowadays. Like, you just need, like, if you want to get those 10 million plus views, like you need the 10 million plus ideas, right? You need the ideas that are going to stand up. I mean, I describe it as like your YouTube channel is a bit like a Netflix, really. You're like, you're in a lineup with all these other shows that have already had like billions and billions and millions of pounds spent on them. You need to also like match that level if you want people to click on your show, other than the latest like hot thing on Netflix, you know?
100%.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to say is that like a lot of YouTubers and YouTube strategists and people in the YouTube world always harp on about like consistency and give strategic advice about consistency and like posting once a week and you know, and like uploading a shorter week. I mean, looking at your channel, you just don't do any of that. Like, what's the thought process behind that?
Our logic really is we release videos when they're good.
Okay.
And ultimately, if you did have the mantra of posting every single week, especially in what we do, the videos would be terrible. It doesn't mean that to say that if you're in a different niche and let's say you're Ali Abdaal, you can't post weekly videos and hold yourself accountable to do so. But from Ali's perspective, his videos is filmed in a kind of studio environment. They can be turned around that quickly because it's one camera, or multiple cameras, but in one setting. So if you're doing kind of videos in a finance niche or something like that, then I really like the idea of consistency because it is what builds momentum. And like I say, I would love for us to make more videos, but it kind of works against us, the fact that we shoot so high.
Imagine making 100 Hours to Meet Haaland every week, and you're doing a different football every week.
But who's to say we can't do that in the future if we're able to establish the team structure to have multiple videos churning at any one time?
John would be absolutely fried, mate.
You would. Okay. Let's say not 100 hours because you actually would just need to spend your whole life trying to be footballers. Who's to say we can't make massive videos every week? It's about us scaling our operation behind the scenes so that we can do that.
Yeah, I think like you guys kind of rip up the rule book, but you don't in a way. Like you are consistent, but you're like consistently making banger videos, and like that's okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether you post them once every month or once every 4 weeks or once every 6 weeks or once every 2 months. Like, you know, the videos that you're producing are so big and so grand, and like the ideas are so cool, and the titles are so amazing and so grand that like you are consistent in that way. It's like a different form of consistency.
Interesting take. I like that. It's like Will and E. Like I look at Will, and he like Will for me, Will and Nico.
Yeah.
And my and Max Fosh and Zach Alsop. They're like my Mount Rushmore of UK YouTube.
Yeah.
And they operate in a similar way. And I think that's probably where the inspirations come from, in the sense where like Will happily spend 6 months producing a video that's cost him tens of thousands of pounds. Like he's spoken openly about his world's most amazing places that actually exist video that's cost him in excess of 60 grand.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Like at that point you kind of go, okay, you get a brand sponsorship on it, you might break even.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's a passion project. And I think like what I love most about Will and Nico and Zach Alsop is that they only release videos that are bangers.
Yeah.
And then from the viewer's perspective, it's that kind of trust and earned trust that I'm going to click on this video and it's going to be worth my while.
Going to be a banger. Doesn't matter whether it's released every month, every 6 weeks, whatever, and almost like builds up that anticipation that you're going to watch the video. And yeah, Beta Squad do it recently as well. And when I was speaking to Sam, the producer, the other day, he was like, we're just going to film in chapters and we're going to release in chapters.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make great videos. Yeah. We're going to release the great videos, and we're going to have a break and then make some more and then release some more. And it's just like, just screw all that advice about posting once a week. Like, it's not really needed. People will come back if they like you and they know you, and you're giving them good value and entertainment or education, right?
100%. And with Beta Squad as well, it's like, that is consistency. It's 8 weeks of consistency, and because they have such an incredible community, and they're so good at communicating stuff like that as well. Like I know about the seasons thing.
Yeah, so do I.
So like everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
They're so good in their content. Like for example, pushing to the next video, and it's like play the trailer, and it's like, you know, as a viewer, kind of what's coming at all times. You're really across their content schedule. So with that, like you absolutely can take that approach, and then you can pause, and your viewers know what to expect. That's better than what we're doing.
Yeah,
absolutely, it's better than what we're doing.
Yeah,
because they're ultimately saying, okay, like we're not going to upload, but you know that.
Yeah.
Rather than us, we're kind of just going like, see you later, guys.
So you don't communicate it to your audience.
No.
You just upload randomly, and then next thing you know, I see this video and I'm like, oh my god, save to watch later. I'll watch that when I'm home. Do you know what I mean?
But that's because YouTube's so intelligent, right? Yeah. YouTube's so clever, and I trust that it will find my viewers for that video.
Yeah. It does every time.
Yeah.
Believe me, I am one. I am a subscriber. And then Nico recently produced I travelled around the world with no money in 30 days. I mean, that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he created a series. He released one every single week, and it was like suddenly he's given me like this Netflix series, like this incredible like Oscar-winning like Netflix series, and every single week I was like yearning to like watch this video, glued to the series. Because it was just a banger, and it was just so good. The storylines, introducing different characters, how he found his guy in Thailand again on the tuk-tuk. It was just had every single bit of like juice you just wanted in a format. I don't care if Nico doesn't post for another 2 months. I'm not bothered, mate. You gave me that. I loved it. I watched it with my granddad. He loved it.
Love that.
And then he went and bought shades the next day at the supermarket.
God.
And like that's what it's about, really. It's like the landscape of like consistency is changing, and it's quite nice, I think.
Yeah, it's good as well, because it like I do like accountability, just to kind of play devil's advocate.
Yeah,
I like accountability, but we're accountable much more so in our shorts.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's from our perspective of like, okay, we make 3 a week, and we'll try and upload on the same days. If a day slips by one, nobody knows. Like, if you sat every single one of our subscribers down and asked us, okay, when do we like to upload? They wouldn't have a clue. They would not have a clue. Yeah. It just pops up in your feed, and then another video does, and another video does, right? That's how the way it works with shorts. Like you're not present enough to realise, oh, John's uploaded on a Thursday for 6 weeks in a row. But it's from our perspective, it kind of keeps us accountable to be
especially
like
with shorts as well. Like,
you're in a brain rot.
Yeah.
void.
Just scrolling. Oh, there's another video. Yeah, you're not like, oh, why is he not uploaded? It's an hour past.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. But it mattered more back in the day, like when sub boxes were a thing, because people would try and kind of beat each other by like 2 minutes. So ultimately, if someone's uploading 4 minutes, and I can't upload at 4:02, so I can sit at the top of the sub box. But now, not at all.
So do you aim to upload a short every Thursday then? Is that what you say?
No, we try to upload a short 3 a week.
3 a week.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when it is that week. You just try
we'll try and go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that.
Like
just
David
to
Dobrik's
space,
schedule.
yeah, just to space things out a little bit and let shorts breathe.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I think that's kind of important. But really, like, just drop videos when they're ready.
Yeah, and when they're good. Right?
Don't ever drop a video before it's good.
Really?
Like, that's my best advice. Like, hang on to a video, work on it until it's good. And obviously there comes a point where, like, if you're a perfectionist and you're hanging over every single micro detail, you do have to press upload eventually.
Yeah.
But just make it as good as you can and click upload.
There's always an argument, isn't there, between the balance of like posting and, you know, trying to make the best videos until you post. And it seems like you've got like that balance like quite well tuned. For someone like starting out, like when you guys started out, did you just like try and get as much up as possible and just keep posting and keep learning, or has your strategy changed over the years? Like, did you still have the same strategy you did like 3 years ago?
Oh no. Our strategy's evolving all the time. It's in the middle of a big evolvement. Is that a word?
Evolvement?
It's in the middle of one of them
You've
right
coined
now.
that term of it, isn't
it? But like our strategy at the start was kind of, like you say, really like learn by getting some reps in.
Nice.
We started by making videos in a split screen style, so you'd have John's head at the bottom, and at the top you'd have some graphics, and he'd be telling you a story, and he'd take you on that journey. All from home.
I remember those videos actually.
Yeah, all from home. My life was so much better.
The shorts,
then.
right?
Yeah.
I remember those.
You just lock in and get those done, and I'd live somewhat of a normal life where I had routine. But now that we travel, that's all
routine?
gone.
What's routine? I've never heard of that before.
But yeah, we consistently made videos, and I think getting those reps in really, really helped us, because there's a lot of fundamentals in those kind of videos that still kind of we hold on to today in terms of like storytelling.
Like what?
Making sure your hook is really, really strong, making sure that you're giving the viewer enough reason to stay, and then holding their hand on the way to a really satisfying payoff, and maybe giving them a couple of payoffs along the way as well, so that it's not just one linear path.
Okay, so these are like your little like retention points along the video. It's not just waiting for the end for that big payoff. It's giving them little ones that they can pick up and like almost like build a puzzle right through. Yeah. How important is that to retention?
Really important, because ultimately, if you, let's say for example in a long form video as well, because that's much harder. If you have like a 15 or 20 minute video, if ultimately, for example, on our quest to meet Neymar, that's the only thing we're trying to do, it becomes quite easy to lose viewers, because at every single second of the video you're not going to be on Neymar's tail. Like you have to ultimately create a satisfying journey where you can give the viewer real moments of excitement and payoff throughout, spread through the video, so that you're not just kind of waiting for that master payoff at all times. And that for us can come in the form of trying to meet additional players, but of a lower standard. So in this video that's coming up, we've managed to meet Jared Piqué, Z Roberto, Maicon, R9. We're trying to meet Kaká. So it's all these kind of things, like we're saying to the viewer, at any moment, any of those players that are also really cool and also have a shared audience to the Neymar audience, any of them could pop up at any time. So it's this strategy of like, don't skip. And that's the best example of that is in our Messi video, which was one night of like unbridled chaos. It was, honestly, if you haven't seen the video, I think it's one of the best videos we've made, just from the sense of like, we came away that night going, what's just happened? We walk in and immediately are greeted by Messi's bodyguard. And then we step into the booth and meet David Beckham's mate. Step round the corner, meet David Beckham. Then we meet Paul Pogba. Then as they're walking away, we meet Sergio Busquets and Luis Suarez. And then meet Messi. And then we're doing 100 hours to meet Messi. And we've done it inside 4 hours.
So did you just edit the video in a way which you thought, okay, we can actually make this, make this last? Yeah,
and it was a 15-minute video, so there was enough kind of through the journey to make it interesting. But yeah, it was a case of like, my concern was, is the viewer going to feel enough jeopardy as to whether we meet Messi? Because there was such a guarantee.
It don't want to be too easy, do you?
Yeah. There was almost like from the intro, it's like you were in the same environment, you were in the same clothes, and your moment, your big kind of hero foreshadowing moment is like Messi walking down a tunnel and John shouting to him. So like, that's the same environment that you've introed to me as day one. So if that's your big payoff and you're in the same clothes, you obviously met him. Or like, if you didn't, then you're going to disappoint me like really early on, and then take the request and ultimately disappoint me again.
Okay.
So we there was enough in there for us to make it in terms of one single video. And like I say, like there's so much energy to it, there's so much chaos, there's so much natural jeopardy, that it's a really interesting video.
It's a great video, mate.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, nice, cool.
I've seen every John Nellis video,
honestly,
mate.
assume no one's seen anything. That's that's the lens I look through.
You have 13 million subscribers.
I'm just like, nah, no one's seen it.
I've been a subscriber for like a couple of years at least.
Really?
Yeah, at least 2 years.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah. Don't thank me, mate. I'm one of 13 million. But yeah, no, I've seen the video for sure.
Thanks,
why football?
Good question.
And the reason why I ask this is because when people start a YouTube channel, they have like, a lot of time they don't know what type of content to create. And I always say, like, what's your competitive advantage? Like, what is it that you know a lot about that not many people know about? Like, what's your unique selling point? I mean, obviously you worked at Sky Sports. Was football your thing, and was it John's thing as well? Is that why you decided football?
Yeah, it was quite natural in the sense that I came from that environment where I was making content with footballers all the time. So I kind of, it was my area, and I'd done that since I was 18. So I kind of understood it as a niche. Also, I didn't want to step away to do something I wasn't passionate about.
Okay.
And I think that's something that I would definitely champion.
So you weren't passionate about YouTube, but you passionate about
football?
No,
I was passionate about YouTube.
So YouTube Absolutely. And football?
Yeah.
So this is like the perfect blend of
exactly.
all the things.
I've been doing my dream job since I was 19, really. It's crazy. But yeah, making sure you're absolutely in love with the niche you're in. But of course, it depends what you're after as well. Yeah. So if you want to make videos about tiddlywinks, you best believe you need to have an incredible product in the line.
Okay.
Because your viewers aren't going to make you enough money for AdSense. But you could have a micro audience of 2,000 people
that love
tiddlywinks, and you can make them a Stokely tiddlywink set, and you can sell it to them at quite a premium. And there's been hundreds of examples of this kind of micro niche where people are making an absolute killing, and it's the fact that you don't need to always punch for super high views, but that's the lens that we like to do, because I just like the idea of always like raising the bar, seeing where you can take it, and football as a vehicle, as a niche, allows us to do that because the audience is so large.
You touched on then about CPMs and not making enough money through CPMs now, and I think like most people, from speaking to lots of YouTubers, like there's still this like misconception that that's where you get most of your money from is through ad revenue. And like I said, I think if that was the case, then we wouldn't be able to create these big videos, and none of the YouTubers would be able to. And I think it's it's pretty obvious that it comes from brand sponsorships, and it comes from like having businesses off the back of YouTube, right? Are you guys, I mean, like I said before, you look at Nico and Shade, you look at KSI and Prime. Is there something in the works for you guys? Like the John Nellis football boot or something?
There isn't yet.
No?
But it's definitely top of mind. And I think, truthfully speaking, our kind of weakness is the fact that we haven't cultivated enough connection with our viewer yet.
Do you not think?
No, I don't think so.
So you don't think that your community is like...
No, I don't think our community is strong enough.
Really? Are you listening to this, guys? This is crazy.
But I think that's like, it comes back to the point of being like self-aware, and also my relationship with John, and being the sense where like it's not me that's the guy, and John is also super self-aware and would say the same thing. But because we make the shorts that are highly optimized, there's not ever any room for personality in our shorts. So you might feel like, oh, I like that this guy always gives me good videos. I like that he's always kind of like doing nice things for people or raising the bar or whatever. You have that kind of connection, but you don't really know who John is as a person yet. And I think that's, speaking like truthfully, that's an area we need to improve.
Interesting.
And that's going to come from more long forms.
Yeah, of course. That's where people spend the most time with you, right? And that's where you gain the most value.
Yeah, and live streams as well. I think live streams for us could be great. We need to work it out. We need to understand and study it and respect it as well, because it's not an area we're in. And it's about understanding and knowing that, okay, like if we're going to join a new line of work effectively, that there's people who are experts in their field, who are live stream experts, and speaking to those and going, okay, how can we work together and implement what we do know about YouTube and retention and stuff, but also work alongside you to you can teach us about live streaming, and then together we can be this kind of like awesome like juggernaut where we kind of go, okay, can we do things in live streaming that no one else has really done? Potentially.
I like that.
But equally, it's going to be a long journey.
Nice.
But that's where we foster connection. I think once people have spent more time with John,
Yeah.
And if I was going to pick back to one stat, if I was going to pick one analytic to study for 2026, it's probably going to be watch time. Can we raise watch time considerably? And really, if you think about it, if you just do a tilt in strategy and you go from shorts really to live streams or long form, you're going to see that natural climb.
Of course.
But equally, if we just focus on it and try and say, okay, let's make our viewers spend more time with us, then by 2027, so long as the product's good, it's much more likely to sell than it is today.
Yeah, I think that's what you're doing everything right, because what you're doing is you're spending this time now just giving. Right? You're not taking anything from your audience. You're not asking them to buy anything. Nothing like that. You know, you're just giving value, entertainment and whatnot. And, you know, then it can be later down the line when, like you said, something feels natural or feels right or feels like, you know, you and John actually do want to, you know, start a business off the back of it or whatever it might be. Then that's when you, like, quote unquote, commercialize it, I guess. But yeah, if it doesn't feel right, then don't do it, because ultimately, like, your audience are just going to know. Yeah. Like, if you just started selling, like, football boots, like I said, like, and just randomly, they'll be like, why the hell would I buy a John Nellis football boot?
Yeah. If we make the John Nellis football boot and there's not enough audience for it, our audience have still seen us try and sell them it.
Yeah.
So next time we come again, there's going to be that thing of, oh, didn't you try and sell me a football boot? And I didn't want the football boot. So maybe I don't want the football shirt or whatever it is. So, like, I'd want to get it right. And I think it's, again, about speaking to experts. Speaking to people who've done this time and time again, and for them, they have all the expertise, and going, okay, this is what you should do. I know, and based on your audience and the audience research, this is the product, this is a great fit, and then we can work out how to integrate that product into content.
Yeah, I think it'll come quite naturally as well, right? It won't just, like you said, you don't want to just shoehorn something in there just for the sake of it. It'll come very naturally, and whenever that time comes, it comes. Yeah, great, right? Great. In terms of, like, your relationship with John and, like, the collaborative, like, efforts that go into the filmmaking and whatnot. At first, I don't think probably a lot of people realise, probably do now by watching this video and seeing the title, but they probably don't realise that there's two of you in this channel, right? It's not just John running an entire ship and filming everything and editing himself, and also your team as well, who I met as well. Like, how collaborative is that process when it comes to, like, creation of your videos?
Incredibly. I think, like, myself and John legitimately probably haven't missed a day of speaking to each other for the last 3 years. Like,
it's like a marriage then, is what
you're saying. It is a marriage. Like, we're married in every sense. We have a shared joint account, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we got a business
Sleep
account.
in the same bed with each other?
Genuinely sometimes.
Yeah. I've done that with my business partner as well. Yeah.
You've got to save money. Yeah. We like to spend
money. Around the world ain't cheap, bro.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Just share a bed.
Yeah.
Easy win, save some money. But yeah, we work so well together, and we have such synergy. Like, we can shoot incredibly straight with each other.
Really?
And it's never going to be taken the wrong way.
I love that.
Like, I'll tell him when I think a line of video is not being delivered right, and he'll say, okay, I think I'm bored at this stage of the video. Yeah. And it doesn't offend us, because it's we've both got a shared mission of making the best videos possible.
Yeah, okay.
And neither one of us is saying anything with malice.
Yeah.
It's all to benefit the other person.
Yeah, okay.
As well. So it's like, okay, listen to these opinions, take them on board, and together we'll both benefit from it.
There's an end goal, there's a collaborative end goal, and whatever you do, whichever direction you go, is always, like, you're always both trying to get towards that end goal. Yeah. Together. Yeah, and I think it's been the secret to our success is the fact that we both have each other. I think both of us would say that. Really? Because without John, I obviously wouldn't be able to make YouTube videos because he's so good on camera. But then without me, especially in the early days, it's different to some extent now that we've got a bigger team. Yeah. But without me, John wouldn't be where he is. Yeah. So it's like, it's a beautiful synergy of, like, accountability as well. Another part, especially in the early days when you're trying to scrap over every penny, it's a case of, like, if we don't make a video today, then we're not going to get paid. Yeah. It's really as simple as that. And, like, when you've also got someone else that you're trying to pay, it's that little bit more accountability. Because I think if I was working on my own and I was, like, trying to do the on-screen stuff and edit and ideate, and it's so much. Yeah, it's a lot. Honestly, like, so many job roles rolled into one. And also the other part is that you've got to then constantly motivate yourself, because, like, I have days where I'm, like, working from home and I'm, like, maybe not in contact with people as much, and I think, oh God, if I was doing this on my own, I'd be so tempted to turn the TV on right now. Play FIFA, let's go. And I know creators are like that. I won't name anyone, but, like, I've spoken to people where they go, like,
oh, do you work like 8 hours a day? And I'm like, no, I work 10. Like, I work 10 hours a day.
That's half a day,
and
mate.
And they're like, oh my God, like I'll like maybe just do some like clips on my phone for 2 hours and then I'll like play FIFA. And I'm like,
yeah, not if you're running one of the biggest UK YouTube channels in the world. Just, mate.
I think it's like treating it like a job. Like,
I mean, it is a job,
of course. But like some creators still get looked down as if it's like not a job. It's one of the most difficult jobs. Like I've had the experience of doing, of course, but like it's so full on, it's all consuming, and you can never switch off. So it's a case of like, yeah, just really knuckle down, and the fact that we have each other to motivate each other to do that means that like John's always traveling for content. I'm always traveling, but it's always for the purpose of helping each other.
Yeah. That's sick, mate. That's really sick. I mean, it's like you said, it's not a 9 to 5. It's a full-time job. Yeah. Just creating and owning a YouTube channel. Like it's just, it's a heavy amount of work. Like I call it like the social media beast. Like it's a beast and it needs feeding. Yeah. It needs feeding a lot. It needs feeding a heck of a lot. And like, what does it take to make like one of your YouTube videos? Is it take, is it just you and John? Is there editors? Is it like loads of miles of traveling? Like, is it like millions of cameras? Like, what does that process from start to finish and who's involved?
Yeah, it depends what the video is, but I'll take you through like
let's take
one of our biggest maybe. Okay.
Yeah, go on then. The Mbappe one?
The Mbappe one, yeah. So that was ultimately, that was a lot of time spent in ideation, to be honest. Maybe more so than we do now because of the fact that we have more case studies to iterate off of.
Okay.
And back in the early days like that, we didn't have anything to bounce that off in-house. Yeah. In terms of our own content that's gone out. So it's a case of like really spending ages working out what to do with Mbappe. So we knew we'd have him for 5 minutes in a single room.
Literally it was 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, on the stopwatch. Like, there's no way you get a second more. And it's a case of what do you do in that single confined space?
Yeah.
And we decided to bring someone blindfolded.
Kidnap your friend, right?
Yeah. Take them on this massive long journey, take them through various different spaces to try and give them clues as to where they were.
Did they know they were being kidnapped?
No, genuinely, we turned up at his door without any sort of pre-warning.
So what about, right? This is what I love about your videos is that the stakes are so high, like to the point where, and like you said before, you've got these big ideas. Some of them don't work. You know you've got this 5 minutes with Mbappe to film in, right? And you want to kidnap your friend. Yeah. What about like if your friend wasn't there, would pop to the shops or like, do you know what I mean? Just
so there's elements
so much out of your control.
Yeah, no, you are right. He genuinely had no idea we were turning up, but we were liaising with one of his friends to basically create a ruse as to like he's going to arrive at the time we arrived.
Okay.
And he's going to clear his day so that they can spend time together.
Okay.
So we basically knew that his day was blocked out.
Okay, and so you knew he was free, you knew he was going to be there, and you knew... Like, what about if you just said no?
Yeah, there is that. There is that, heavily.
This guy has no reason to come with you. He goes, I'm going to blindfold you and just take you somewhere. Obviously, you know him well enough, like, and he knows what you do for videos, so the chances of that maybe is potentially slimmer. Yeah. But the stakes are still high. I mean, when you met... I forget his name, the Manchester United.
Kobbie Mainoo.
Yes.
So that to me is the highest stakes video without doubt. Like that was honestly about half an hour away from not happening, even though Kobbie Mainoo's like lined up and we're going to get him at let's say like 3:30. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But, so we basically set out on a quest, for those who don't know, to try and find a taxi driver who said Kobbie Mainoo was their favourite player. And then basically,
what are the chances?
Yeah, I know. We found out it's harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
And
in Manchester though, right?
Yeah, in Manchester
taxi driver.
We honestly must have taken 20 to 30 taxis back and forth from Old Trafford to various places and Ubers and all sorts, just to try and speak to them. And every single time, get in the taxi, be like, "Oh, hi, who do you support?" You'd immediately get Liverpool, and you'd be brilliant.
Sat in a taxi for 20 minutes.
So in a taxi to Old Trafford. This is so long and the time's just ticking down, and eventually you get a United and you're like, hey, brilliant, class. It's like, who's your favourite player? I don't really care. You're like, oh my god. So we had lots and lots of that, and then eventually we took a taxi off of someone's advice all the way out to where there was a rank, and we thought, okay, let's hit like 5 of them without needing to get in the taxi, do the journey.
Makes sense.
Because time is ticking. Turn up and there's one taxi. We're like, oh my god, we've taken a long one all the way here. We speak to him, and he says he's a United fan. Says he goes to games. We're like, okay, amazing. Who's your favourite player? Kobbie Mainoo. And we're like, oh my god. we were like an hour, 2 hours until we needed to see this guy.
Yeah.
And eventually we kind of convinced him, like, okay, we can't tell you what's happening because it just ruins the whole video. Like, there genuinely was no like intel from his side. It needs to be trust. So,
and you don't know him.
We don't know him.
He needs to trust you.
Yeah.
You're going to blindfold the poor fella, put him in the back of a car.
Yeah.
And he also might not want to be on camera or be on the
YouTube
no,
video. He's just a guy, right? And that's what I loved so much about that video. He's just a guy. Doesn't have any aspirations to be on camera, but he's talking to us on the way. Oh, my kids watch YouTube. They love football, and I'm thinking, okay, they probably know who John is. Like, I'm saying to him, do this. Like, you will not regret this. Like, I can't tell you what's going to happen.
That's what you're saying. Do this.
I can't tell you what's going to happen, but trust me, you're going to love
a guy
this.
You've never met.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. Stick this blindfold on.
Stick this blindfold on. You've never met me. I've got a taxi all the way out here to come and see you. Don't know who I am at the middle of the day on like a Tuesday or something. Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah, honestly.
And he did.
Yeah. And we basically turned up to the event because we're going back to like the more logistics and retention strategy around that video. It's like, let's get Kobe Mania on video on the video as early as possible to satisfy the viewer. So John heads off and chats to Kobe, gets a little bit of like additional value, and says, oh, okay, I brought someone blindfolded to meet you, gets his reaction ultimately, then heads back to the car, and then says to the guy that at that point, I need you to wear a blindfold. So it's like the stakes again, like going back to the viewer, it's about saying like, okay, there's so much on the line here.
Yeah.
Like he can say no here, he can say no here, he can walk blindfolded into a random room being led by some guy he's never met, he can say no all along the way. So it's like this constant jeopardy.
Yeah.
All the way until you eventually take the blindfold off.
And the thing is, like, I think the beauty about all of this is it's just real.
Yeah.
Like, you're not really, like, you've come up with the idea, but you're not really, like, you're telling stories in some way and you are sort of controlling a little bit of it, but, like, there is still a lot of, like, real things that could go wrong. And that just comes across in the content, like, so authentically.
I appreciate that.
And that's what's just, like, that's what's just genius about it. You're not taking any, like, you don't want to sit down and be in control of the whole thing. You know the stakes. You know that this possibly could go wrong. But actually, that thing that could go wrong is part of the video.
Yeah, for
sure. So
something
does go wrong, you just make it part of the storyline.
Absolutely. And you can bob and weave, and like, you never know how that story's going to go. Like, there's only so much you can plan and strategize ahead of time. But ultimately, once you go on this journey, it's just so interesting that it's going to take you on this random journey, and that unpredictability is kind of part of the charm, because the viewer's like, I don't know where this is going next.
Yeah. So with the Haaland one, will you ever make that video again?
Yeah. We'll
and
try
will you
and
refer back to that old content
potentially? Yeah. There's definitely something to be said about that. I think you'd need to do it in a clever way, because if you're saying, for example, like, you see, I tried to make this video before and I failed, it kind of says to the viewer, like, okay, so you succeeded. You want that air of jeopardy. Whilst, like, we always want to deliver, and I don't think we'll ever make a video where it's 100 hours to meet someone and we don't meet them. Okay. Because I want to end on that positive satisfaction moment at the end.
Yeah.
But
imagine if you built it right up and it was like, oh, no, I didn't meet it.
No, you actually didn't turn up.
Your viewers would just be so fuming. They'd be like, wait, so I've just invested like 20 minutes of my time and they just don't do it. They of course want you to do it every single time.
Yeah. So like, I'll always try and do that. So yeah, potentially we can include that, but it's about doing it at the right time so that it doesn't have that kind of knock-on effect in terms of making the viewer think that, oh, okay, like, I don't even care anymore. I know he's going to meet him. Let me just skip to the end and see that happen.
If you're a brand and you want to create a YouTube channel, there's so many brands want to. I know you're in the creator space. They don't want to. The barrier to entry for a brand, I think, is much higher than it potentially is for a creator, because they know they've got to invest a lot of money. They know there's no like guaranteed outcome. Yeah. So, I mean, even with you guys, there's no guaranteed outcome. Yeah. If you made, I mean, you've obviously got the data and you've made 100 hours to meet videos a few times now. Yeah. Like, if you did 100 hours to meet, I don't know, like Saka, for example. Yeah. Like, you in your head you think, okay, that could work. We've got evidence that work, but it could flop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of money, and everything else. Do you worry about that? Do you worry about that a lot?
I do, probably more than I should. Okay. In a sense where it's like, I think really when you step back and you kind of take a wide look and like a holistic view of the whole business. Yeah. One failed trip to meet Haaland's not going to break us.
Okay, so you're looking at it as in like an overarching, like 2-year, 3-year business thing, rather than just one single video.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people should do, and I'm talking to myself really, but try and not look at every single video as a direct ROI.
Yeah.
And look at like, okay, what does this video serve me on my 2-year, 3-year plan? And if it's, for example, like building a connection with your viewer, and you might generate more revenue from like a brand deal on a short, right? That brand deal on a short can kind of fund the long form.
Okay.
So let's say the long form doesn't land a sponsor, like our Neymar video at the moment doesn't currently have a sponsor, and that's flights to Brazil. It's several days in Brazil. It's time spent in edit and so on. And then dubbing our videos, which costs tens of thousands of pounds. That video probably will break even.
Yeah.
Might make us a profit, but really, like, that's not really that important, because the kind of goal for the long form is to foster that connection with the viewer.
Okay.
And then we can, in time, let's try and not like drop the ball and not get a sponsor on a long form again, because of the fact they cost so much money.
Yeah.
But equally, if you take a view of like, okay, the business as a whole generates money from various different avenues, and that money can then fund various different things.
Okay.
But all of it should be kind of on the quest of, what's this serving me? Why am I doing this?
So it's not about every single bit of content making money potentially. You've got to look at it as like your YouTube channel as like a whole ecosystem, and not, okay, I put 100 grand into this video, I got 120 grand out, I made 20 grand profit. Perfectly. It's all these little things that add to like the whole bigger picture. Potentially other stuff outside of the YouTube channel, what the YouTube channel brings, right? Like, you know, you've got all this fame and this identity through the channel, but then you might do a speaking gig and get paid for that.
100%.
Then, you know, all these different like opportunities that come and feed into this whole like ecosystem. Is that the way you look at it?
Bang on. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so difficult to trace like the effects of that video. So let's say, for example, the Ronaldo video, someone in Saudi Arabia might watch that and go, oh, let's invite them back and give them a one-on-one with Ronaldo or whatever, because they've seen that video's done 10 million views. And it's like, okay, if that video doesn't turn a profit, but it leads you to a video where you can interview Ronaldo or spend time with Ronaldo, it's like, well, that video's paid for itself by giving you that video, and so on and so on. It's kind of a domino effect. So trying to take this more holistic view and understanding that like not everything needs to be a direct ROI on itself.
Yeah. And that's what I think, that's why brands do struggle seeing YouTube, and why so many huge brands just aren't on the YouTube, and it blows my mind sometimes. I think, why have you not done this yet? Like, you're putting so much money into like TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, but you're still not fostered a YouTube strategy, or you're just treating it like a Vimeo account, or like you're dumping ground of videos. It's just bananas. It just blows my mind. When you come up with like when you're speaking to a brand, or brand speaking to you or whatever, how do you know that a brand is the right fit for your channel? And not just because there's like 7 zeros on the on the invoice. Like, how do you know, like, okay, this brand is going to fit into my channel, into my audience? How do you know that that's going to work, that relationship?
It should be something that can be naturally integrated into our storytelling.
Okay.
And there's been examples of that, for example, like with the Adidas football.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they're wanting to promote the new Try On the World Cup football.
Yeah.
And we can produce a video where we put a tracker inside a football, and leave it there to be stolen. Someone steals it. Where does it go? I'm going to go and find it. Oh, get it back. Amazing. So the Try On is a prevalent part of that story. It's in there from the second we start the hook all the way till the payoff. It's absolutely unavoidable.
Yeah.
We can also pop in a line saying, I hid the new Try On the World Cup football.
Yeah.
And then from the brand perspective, they can tick their boxes to be like, okay, people know what the World Cup football is. They know it is the World Cup football as well, not just a random football.
Yeah.
So it's been attributed. It's not just screen time, because I think there does need to be some brand attribution, so you ultimately know what the thing is that you're promoting. But yeah, when a brand lets you kind of naturally integrate their product into the story in a way that's not going to harm retention, that is the goal. Let's say you're buying like a Coca-Cola advert on a billboard, and someone walks past it on the way to get to the train. That's one impression, right? And a view on YouTube is one impression. If I'm watching a video that's 60 seconds and there's various different Coke cans in it along the journey, it's almost several impressions, because it's several touch points. Or you could look at it as one elongated impression that's more valuable than a passing train billboard. But it's an impressions game. So if we can give you 200 million impressions, that is worth a hell of a lot of money.
It really is.
So that is the way I like to work with brands, when they understand that, okay, we're in an impressions game, because people ultimately sometimes push too hard for, let's say, for example, let's pick Red Bull, because we've not worked with Red Bull. And they go like, okay, and try the new flavour of Red Bull watermelon, where it's made with 100% watermelon and no artificial flavours, and so on and so on. And so on. But all of that is a blatant ad read, which the viewer will naturally be more inclined to swipe away from. And the evidence is so clear for us. And I like to work with brands who I can get into calls with on the early stages and be like, let me show you the data of what you're proposing to do will do.
Yeah.
And it's so black and white that I can say, look at this drop in your retention curve. This will happen if we do this. And then, for example, some will want you to make a reference to the product inside the first 5 seconds or in the opening shot. So that drop, if we lose the viewer instantly, that's so damaging because ultimately it's less viewers to then take on the journey. If we take 100 million people all the way to the end of the video and then tell them about the new watermelon flavor, and we lose them on the last 5 seconds, you've still had, let's say, 60-second video. You still had 55 seconds of pure enjoyment, and then they might leave. But ultimately, if you lose let's say 6 seconds out of a 60-second video, you've lost 10% retention.
Yeah.
If we can delay that until 3 seconds before the end, there's 5% retention, and so on and so on and so on.
Okay.
So it's like saying to the brand, work with me here. We want to make videos that get views. You want your product to get views. We're on the same team. Like we both want the same thing out of this. So if we work together, then ultimately we can get more eyeballs on your product.
And it goes back to the argument as to why a YouTube view is so much more valuable than a TikTok view or even a YouTube short view.
Yeah.
Because that one view for 20 minutes or that one view for like 10 seconds or 5 seconds, just think about the difference. It doesn't matter whether you've got 1 million views on your TikTok. If you've got 1 million views on your YouTube, they've stayed with you way lot longer than they have to on there, and it's just so much more valuable.
Yeah, that's from like an audience fostering perspective, 100%. My problem sometimes with ad reads on long forms is that if they're not engineered correctly, or it's not an integral part of the story, it can feel quite skippable. And I think that's what we as like creators should be really on top of, both for our own perspective and for the brands. Because when I'm working with a brand, I want to give them as much value as possible so that they come back. Yeah. Because one sale is great, but it doesn't really do much for me because it means I'm going to have to go to market and land a new brand again. Whereas if, for example, we're doing 100 hours to meet Neymar and the brand gets an amazing return on their investment and they go, I would love to work again with John. I can say, hey guys, we're making 100 hours to meet Haaland. Would you like to sponsor this video? Done. Sold instantly. I need to be on the same team as the brand.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to be working with you to be like, how do I deliver you as much value as possible?
Yeah.
And so it's about making that ad integration not skippable.
Okay.
It's about how can I fundamentally deliver this at a time of peak interest to my audience and also deliver it in a way that makes it fundamental to watch.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Unskippable ad reads is what you're going for.
Yeah.
And like, it's quite interesting what you said there about like the peak interest. If you've built up this storyline and this jeopardy and these stakes all the way through, and then you've got this peak bit of the video when he's maybe about to meet Neymar, and that's when the ad read comes out. You're not going to skip that because you spent like 12 minutes getting to that point, right? And you know, if you do embed it correctly and it does feel very natural, then of course you're not going to skip it, and then of course you're going to listen to the ad read.
It needs to be delicate, and you need to handle that because ultimately, like, if people think, Jesus, you're taking me on a 15-minute video, you've been in numerous locations, you've not met Neymar, and you've tried at every single location to make me think you might meet Neymar. And at the moment I realise you are going to meet Neymar, you start selling me a product. It's like, wow, okay. So you need to do it in a delicate way, and you need to tell it in a way that makes the viewer feel like I'm not annoyed. But it ultimately, I think if you can do it in a sensitive way, also sometimes the viewer can be like, well, I got this for free. I think people need to look at that sometimes a lot and go like, this is a free video. You've not paid anything for this. It's not even in the sense of like a Netflix subscription fee. Like YouTube's free. It's unbelievable the level of content you can get for free. So if sometimes you need to be served an advert to fund this massive quest that isn't necessarily going to turn a profit, then it's a small price to pay. Yeah,
it really is. And the viewers that understand that, I think, are the ones that, I mean, sometimes, like, even if the ad reads are rubbish, just because sounds so sad, but just because I like the creator, I'm like, I won't skip because I know that, like, you know, they're supporting them if I don't skip. And I just sit there and just listen to this ad read.
But that's the next level community though, right? That's maybe what we need to work on. Because if we had that level of community, then there's extra points of retention there.
I always think, like, I said this, I was interviewing QuickBooks the other day, and we were talking about people commenting on YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I said I've never once commented on a YouTube video. Not once. Like I've been watching YouTube like
I agree.
like, live or die YouTube, right? I love it. I've never commented on a YouTube video once, right? And like if every like brand or creator had that mindset of, do you know what? To get someone to comment on this video is actually like a tough thing to do, because people genuinely don't, especially comment like good things or nice things. They don't genuinely want to comment on videos that much, and a lot of people don't. They just sit there and watch it and sit in the background. A lot of them don't even subscribe. You know. So to get that one person just to comment like is just like a crazy. You've obviously done a crazy good job. And to get lots of comments on your video, I think is like a real like key measure of success. Like people have liked it enough to go out their way to write something about it, to press post. Like just watching it and just flicking off and just getting distracted, like it's so easy nowadays. But they've actually gone and commented. I think like not a lot of people use comments as a measure of success.
I think that's a great point. It's a really good point. I think our comment ratio is, I think, about 0.01%.
So 0.01% of people who watch a video comment.
And that's my rough estimations of knowing that we get around about 1,000 comments for 10 million views.
Wow.
So you kind of go like, maybe they're your 1,000 true fans. Back to that point.
Maybe you only have 1,000.
Maybe, honestly. But like the effort it takes to leave a comment is like you say, really interesting, because I think viewers are really naturally selfish, because it's like, well, what do I get out of this? So you always need to incentivize them to get something out of it. So I like the idea of like giving a motive or giving a purpose to a comment. So could you, for example, say, I'm going to pick one comment from the next video to choose who we're going to meet next.
Okay.
And then ultimately you give someone an incentive to be like, oh, if I want you to try and meet Saka, I'm going to write 100 hours to meet Saka. And if that's the top comment, we'll go and do it. So you could say that. And ultimately it's
like
then
a call to action of some sort.
It gives a purpose. It gives a reason. It's not just kind of like aimless commenting for the sake of it, which is kind of barking into a void. It's like that comment could lead to like material change. And like that then makes a comment give some value back to you. So back to the point of the viewer being selfish, that gives them a reward potentially.
Okay, so you've always got to give them something to enable them to take an action of some sort.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I actually told a lie. I left a comment the other day on Steve Will Do It's YouTube video.
Oh yeah.
Right. Have you seen his new YouTube channel?
Have you seen it? I've seen him give David Dobrik a car. That is my most recent touch point with Steve Will Do It.
It's wild. He started it in like October, and he's got like 2 million, a million and a half subscribers or whatever. But if you just leave a comment on his YouTube video, he'll pick one person every week and give them $100,000.
Unbelievable.
So I just commented like, "Go Steve." I was like,
unbelievable.
Wow, $100,000. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but that's like that is the lengths that creators and brands and everyone is going through nowadays to get people to engage. With their videos, because he knows the more comments he has on his videos, the more that brands will look at that and think, "Wow, Steve gets like 20,000 people commenting on his videos, like a super engaged." So he knows that the brand will give him more money to sponsor. It's genius, really. When you think
it's really, really clever. I like that. I might take that.
Or $100,000 a video, John Nellis?
Not quite that much. But okay, how can we do it? You could even say, for example, like you'd need to run the numbers. But let's say, for example, for every like that you get, if your top comment, I'll give you a quid.
Yeah.
You could say and then ultimately it becomes a question of like, okay, how many likes is top comment going to get?
50,000 likes, top comment.
Can we afford this?
But
if that number made sense, like, could that be an interesting way of being like, I'm going to make it a really good comment as well, because I want to get top comment. And if I get top comment and it gets 69,000 likes, then there's your money.
Wow, you could literally just make 70 grand just from writing a comment on a YouTube video.
Who knows?
Maybe start with a penny.
A penny for every like. I like it.
Maybe start with a penny and then we'll see how it goes, because you could end up like deep in the hole here, bankrupting the entire channel, having to do a crowdfund or something.
Honestly.
That's good. It could work. It's crazy though, isn't it? Like the the ideas and the people are having to come up with now to like ultimately like stand out on YouTube. And like I said before, like it is like you're in a lineup with all these different channels and whatnot. How when it comes to your thumbnails, like how like analytical are you, and do you like change them like after like 24 hours or after a week? Like how like crazy is your thumbnail process?
It's pretty locked in most cases.
Yeah.
But I do like to have like A/B testing charts lined up ahead of upload. So the best example I've got for you of this is the video where we hugged 100 footballers, or asked 100 footballers for a hug, culminating in asking Cristiano Ronaldo for a hug.
Yeah.
So that video before upload had a couple of titles. So it was, I know that wasn't quite your question, but they pair.
No.
It's like, I asked 100 footballers for a hug was one title.
Yeah.
Shows scale. It shows the jeopardy of, okay, if you ask 100, how many said yes? So there's a couple of curiosity gaps there.
Yeah.
Who were the 100 footballers? So you've also got, I asked Cristiano Ronaldo for a hug.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing where it's like, I like that more in a sense where it's like, okay, it's so pointed that you have to have done it. Because you can't tell me you did something like that and you didn't do it.
Well, you obviously met Cristiano Ronaldo. He's obviously going to feature in the video. If
it's that guarantee of success. Whereas if you go for the first title, where it's, I asked 100 footballers for a hug, and you put Ronaldo on, I wouldn't necessarily trust that he's going to be in the video. But if you tell me I asked Ronaldo for a hug and he's on the thumbnail, it's like, okay, he's going to be in this. And then the next one is I hugged Cristiano Ronaldo. Whereas the more the guarantee of like, okay, this person's actually done it. But it removes the jeopardy of he's asked him, but how did he respond?
Yeah, okay.
So ultimately, there's a few kind of curiosity gaps that you're closing with that one. But we run tests to test initially all three of those titles with their primary thumbnail.
Yeah.
Find the winner of that. And then from there, you go on a separate test. Almost you think of it like those tests or those quizzes you could do on BuzzFeed, where it's like, what's your answer to this? Yes. Okay. And then what's your answer to this one? No. Okay. You're off on this path.
Okay.
So it becomes one of those where it's like
a flowchart vibes.
Yeah. Where it's like, this is the title we're going to go for. Okay. And now from this point, let's have two thumbnails that we test either side. And it's important when you do this to keep control variables. So let's say, for example, the question we're going to ask between the two thumbnails is, John's going to be proposing a hug with his arms out. And then the next one is going to be actually hugging Ronaldo. So that there is your answer to the question of, okay, which of those is stronger? And then from there, you might find that, okay, the shot of them hugging is the stronger one. So there you can then test the background or the environment. They're going to remain hugging, but now one's going to be indoor, one's going to be outdoor. Cool. The outdoor one won. Amazing. Okay. They're going to be hugging outdoors, but Ronaldo's now going to be wearing a Portugal or an Al Nassr shirt. So we're going to run that test. And then basically you're done. Okay. At that point.
Easy.
You kind of know at that point, that's my optimal thumbnail.
Yeah.
That's the kind of path that leads you to that success point. You can then go stupid and be like, okay, can I change the color of the sky? But that's not going to have a material change at all.
Really?
So you shouldn't bother.
Really?
Just create what you deem to be the best thumbnail based on the mechanics that I've kind of taken you through there. And you're going to be onto a winner. Those micro nuances aren't going to be picked up by your audience. So ultimately...
So like mouth open, mouth closed, different colour t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like a mouth open, mouth closed. Don't hate it. Like, because it conveys a different expression. So let's say, for example... And I actually did miss the Ronaldo expression. So like in there was another path that you go on where either Ronaldo's pissed off that John's hugging him, or Ronaldo's really happy that John's hugging him. Those two reactions do convey a different emotion from the viewer. So ultimately, test that. And you're going to find out that Ronaldo being pissed off, of course, negative framing pretty much always wins.
Yeah.
That wins, and then you go off and you test the kits and so on.
I know you, is your measure of success here when it comes to thumbnails, is it the click-through rate?
It's A/B testing. So YouTube's got that set up now, so you can put the two thumbnails in against each other, and it's going to be a watch time share. Yeah. So what I love most about that is that you can't look at just click-through rate and deem that to be a success, because let's say, for example, the video was a 100 footballer quest to hug them all or ask them all, and then you end with Ronaldo. Once you click through a video that says I hugged Ronaldo, you're then served into a video which is ultimately you're watching 100 footballers. It's not quite what you were promised. You could argue that it's over delivery, which I always like to do. It's like, how can I give the viewer more than they intended?
Okay, so the title. So a lot of people say that the video should like answer the title. Would you say the video should answer the title and then give some more? Give some.
Okay. Always try and over deliver.
Right,
because
okay.
if someone comes through and they're like, let's stay on this example. I asked Ronaldo for a hug, and they click the video, and it's like, this is me about to ask Ronaldo for a hug, but he's just one of many, many footballers I've asked on my quest to hug 100 of the world's biggest footballers. You're like, what is this video? I just clicked on this because I want to ask Ronaldo for a hug, and it's like, now you're telling me you've asked Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ousmane Dembele, and it's like, sorry, what? So if you can create that kind of emotion from your viewer, and then take them on that quest where they go, this person's giving me so much, and also we're going to start with Heung-min Son. So it's like, this is such a guarantee of value. Immediately, where we go like, oh yeah, Heung-min Son's in this video as well. And most people would quite rightly so make a whole video about Heung-min Son. We didn't even tell you. It's just like, oh yeah, and here's Heung-min Son. So it's like, try and always over deliver.
Wow. I mean, there's so much that goes into this, isn't there? It's like, it's a lot of people think that YouTube is like super like creative and like airy and just like, you know, storytelling and whatnot, but like so much of it is based upon data and like, and doing these tests and then just like slowly like winning and failing and winning and failing and winning and failing. Where have you guys learned your biggest lessons? Oof. And I want an exclusive, by the way, Alex. No, I'm joking.
I'll try my best. No one cares about me enough to talk to me enough. Everything's an exclusive. So my biggest learning maybe is the fact that we did a video once where we tried to meet David Beckham and we didn't meet him.
Oh, okay.
And we put the video out because times were a bit harder. And it was like, oh, let's put this video out because I'm not going to fly to Miami again.
Yeah, okay.
I can't afford to do that. So it's like, this is just kind of what the video is.
Right.
And we put that out and it's on a million views or something like that. So
really?
At the time, we were really happy with that. And then I remember speaking to FootCrunch, who's another massive creator in our space. And he said to me, why have you not tried to meet him again? Why have you not ended on a positive note? And that to me was a bit of an eye-opener where I went, okay. Like, back to that point of like not everything needing to be a direct ROI. Okay. We should have kept that quest going. Right. Okay. Because that video, it's quite stupidly was, and it's not even a very good idea now, but it was the idea of cooking fish and chips and delivering them for David Beckham. Stupid idea, not even that good. No proven case study at all. But you live and learn, right? Yeah. And it's the quests that you go on like that help you get to the point where we're at now. But we should have ended by giving David Beckham fish and chips. That's the ending of that video. Do you realise what you've just said? How mental that is. Yeah. But and that would be so difficult to do. But in doing so, we would have also picked up more shots along the way that alluded to the fact we were close to doing it. Okay. Whereas in the edit, I found it like incredibly difficult to even somewhat convince the viewer that this might happen. Because I'm stood there. Like, you're so far away from meeting David Beckham, like in a different country or whatever. Yeah. And there's not a single shot of John and David Beckham in the same room. Right. So how on earth would I ever believe that this might happen? And you're going to take me on a 15-minute journey to kind of take me on this quest. So that was a big learning that FootCrunch told me of like, keep the video going. And in turn, we've done that time and time again. And now we've built to the point where, like with the Haaland video, we can miss. You can miss. We can miss and then go, it's fine. We'll do it again. We'll try again and we'll make it again. And we will eventually meet Erling Haaland. But when we do, it'll be a nice big moment. And he's my best mate, by the way. I can just call him honestly, and let him know if you want. Yeah, we'll start the time. And it's almost like there's been like this expectation I built up on your channel. Like when you create these videos of meeting Liverpool players or whoever it might be, like you just know that John's going to do it. Do you know what I mean? You just know that you guys are going to make it happen. Does that play into your favour? Is it an advantage or is it like a disadvantage? I think it probably is an advantage in a sense that like it probably wins us a lot more views from a sense of like we don't disappoint the viewer. And ultimately as a result you're more inclined to click the video because you think this is going to be what I think it is. Yeah. So I think like if you throw yourself back to the early days of YouTube where clickbait was a lot more prevalent because it wasn't negatively kind of hindered in the way it is now.
Yeah.
So if you were to clickbait and say that you've met Messi, and then quite early on it was really prevalent that you weren't going to do that, ultimately you've clickbaited the viewer.
People don't like clickbait now,
and they're gonna swipe away.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you've got more evidence that you're going to succeed in this mission that your packaging suggests you're going to, then in time your viewers build up that trust with you and they're more inclined to click. So
I love it. Now, you've achieved so much in the last 3 years. It's pretty wild, mate. What's the next 3 years look like for you? Okay, that's too big of a question.
Yeah.
What's the next 12 months look like?
12 months. Yeah, we could probably do that.
Because 3 years ago, you probably couldn't have said that you're in the position that you are now, right?
Never. Never. I honestly, if you had to ask me how long the last 3 years of my life have felt, I'd say probably around about 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, if not more.
I mean, you look so youthful 3 years ago, mate.
Yeah, really, honestly, yeah. I've genuinely, like, I've had to take a trip to Turkey. There's been a lot of aging done in the last 3 years. And then the next 12 months probably be more of the same. But I think for me, it's about kind of maturing our business. And
so maturing, like, behind the scenes of the business?
Yeah, okay. and like bringing on more people who can help take some weight off myself. Top level people, or top level operators who can also just raise what we do and who are better than me at certain things, so I can take things off my plate and focus on areas that I'm like a specialist at. And then in time, what that will look like is more consistent long form uploads, because that's something that needs to come. It might again look like a step into a live stream space, and the more immediate future is obviously the World Cup, which is going to be huge for us. I'm ridiculously confident that we're going to achieve great results out there, just because we've got the proven track record of doing it at the first World Cup. We did it at the most recent Euros, and now we're bigger, we're better, and we've got more budget.
So the World Cup is the thing you've got your eyes set on.
Yeah, we've had that. That's been the case since we started working together.
Really?
The US World Cup, I mean, like, it's the US and it's the World Cup. It doesn't get any bigger.
No.
And from a commercial perspective, I think it could be a real opportunity for us to step into a new market where it's like the US market and the US creators, as you can see from Steve Will Do It and David Dobrik, they're absolutely minted.
Everyone wants an American CPM, right?
Yeah, in a way that we as a UK audience aren't, really. Like, we do okay, but it's a different world.
I mean, America's literally physically like 100 times the size of the UK. So
there
you go.
So if we can sell ourselves to US agencies who are running campaigns across the World Cup, then that'll be nice. But also, even if from a perspective of viewers, if those passive US viewers who watch the World Cup for the first time and then decide to step into watching football, we can pick up new audience, and they can be US audience. So it's higher watch time, higher CPMs and so on.
Nice. And then after the World Cup, what's the mission?
I think it just comes back to that point of like building workflows and building teams so that our content can be really consistent and really high level. Yeah. Because I think at the moment we're such a small team that we are just we're kind of spinning too many plates.
How many people are in your team?
So you've got myself as head of content.
Yeah.
And under me we've got Jacob, who is our short form content editor that you've met. Yeah. And we've got a long form editor as well. We've got a brand partnerships lead, so head of partnerships, Toby. John on camera. Yeah. And then we work with Seb Losado as a YouTube strategist. Yeah. So we touch points with him a couple of times a week. So that's kind of us.
It's quite a small team, really, for the size of your channel.
Yeah, and I think like what I want to do is really grow, but in like a healthy way. That's not a case of like bringing in the wrong person at the wrong time. I want to bring in someone who can take stress off myself and John, because we're too in the weeds of the content creation journey. Like John currently today is in production mode. He's working out how to produce shorts for next week. Really? John really is a talent, shouldn't be doing that. But he's great at what he does. So it's a case of like, he's the best man for that job. Yeah. What we need to do is work out someone who's better than both of us at that, because there is someone to do that. Like
how to process it almost, how to systematize it a bit, and still get the same result that you're getting now, right?
Yeah, like how can we give someone all of the information they need to go off on a quest to find a football pitch that's got a bush in it, because John needs to hide in it, and that's probably going to come out in time for this. So like,
is that literally what you guys are doing?
That's what John's doing today.
Looking for a football pitch with a bush.
Yeah. So like that's something that he's got on his to-do list, and he's
That's crazy.
off trying to make that happen. But that's the job of a producer.
Yes, totally the job of a producer.
So
yeah,
like
I'd say
we
so.
don't have an in-house or production lead or a producer or whatever.
Okay.
So we need to hire for that role.
Yeah.
Really. And then in turn, that will take so much task off of our plates that can put me back into the weeds of strategizing, content ideation, working with editors to make sure their content's as good as it can be, and so on.
Wow, I mean, I don't honestly know how you guys do it. It's pretty crazy, mate. And yeah, congrats to all of your success, man.
Thank you, mate. Thank you so much.
Like I said from the start, like genuinely, thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure's all mine.
It's been great to pick your brains for an hour and a half. I think it's been.
Yeah.
It's gone pretty quickly.
Yeah, nice.
Fucking hell. You're a super smart guy, and do you know what? Like, it's so clear and obvious that you just like love YouTube, which is just so cool, man. So do I. So thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Can we have a hug?
Yeah.
I like to hug people at the end of the episodes.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. That's sick.
That was awesome.